What's up, everybody? How are you? It's Bill Foster's Real Talk Chronicles. It's Real Talk with Alyson Williams. I'm wishing you all a happy Monday. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. I sure am. Just moving and grooving and doing what I do, all the time. Just, you know, living life. God is good. I can't complain at all. And if I did, who really cares? I care, but you care. But I say all that to say that um, tonight we got Alyson. She's coming in. She'll be here soon. Allie, she tardy for the party, but it's all good. Um, I got a good show tonight. I got some dynamic people coming through tonight. They're here right now, to be honest with you, to tell you what they have going on. And for those that know, I really don't promote individual things, but these two individuals right here, I believe in what they're doing, and I respect them. I appreciate them, and I wanted to share my platform for positivity. I think you all know that I'm all about the positivity, and when people are doing positive things, then we need to share that wealth, especially people of color. Um, and without further ado, I'm going to bring them on because I know they're dealing with time restraints. And let me get them in here right now. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I have Mr. Dave Sheppard and I have Miss Debi B. Jackson in the building. How are you two doing?
Fantastic, man. Fantastic, man. The
Good,
first,
good,
first
good,
thing I'd
good.
like to do is thank you so much, man, for letting us speak on your platform to all your people out there. And I can't thank you enough, man, for giving us that
Oh,
opportunity.
come on. I think, I think, when you called and you asked, you and Dad called and asked, I told you the first thing I said, yeah, I don't do that. But for you two, it was an absolute, you know what I'm saying? Because first and foremost, you know, let me just go down this rabbit hole. People of color don't look out for people of color for reasons unbeknown. We can talk historically and stuff like that, but the things that you two are doing are phenomenal and what you're trying to give back. And I'll let you elaborate more on that. But first and foremost, let me start with the lady first. Deb, for the people that don't know, if I don't know if they've been under a rock for a long time, just give them your background on who you are and what you've done. You're an air personality, you're a philanthropist, you're a woman of all trades. So just give some people some insight on who you are, then I'll go to Dave, please.
Okay, my name is Debbie B. Jackson, and for 30 years I was on 107.5 WBLS, and I did the Sunday Classics with my late husband, Hal Jackson. And let's see, we had the Youth Development Foundation, which awards scholarships to young ladies, of which I am now the president and CEO. We're having an event coming up, um, and Mr. Foster was kind enough to let us come on to talk about it.
Oh, I couldn't not did it. Let's talk about how was it being on the radio, being an air personality, and you're still involved. You're in the mix of everything. And when BLS sees you, they it's like they bow, they pay homage to you. Um, I know that because I mean I think it was a Harlem Week about maybe about 2 years ago. I don't even know how long ago. You and shout out to G. Keith Alexander that was still doing interviews and still doing things. So you will still have your hand on the pulse of the city, Deb. Talk about like I know you're not with BLS, but you're still in the mix of everything. And how does that feel? What was it like 30 years of being on the radio?
Um, I loved it. I loved it. I was on every Sunday, and you never know who would walk into the studio. I was able to meet quite a number of individuals and have their numbers. It was wonderful. I mean, it was just wonderful. I mean, to say that you've been in the room and had conversations with like a Whitney Houston, a Michael Jackson, a Stevie Wonder. Uh, yeah, that was kind of the usual thing for a long while. And those people I am still, well, if they're still around, in contact with.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, yeah, because relationships are made with that. And And let me transition to Dave. Now, Dave, for those that don't know, Dave was on the show before. And first and foremost, Dave and I are connected in so many different ways: law enforcement, promotions, martial arts. That's my martial arts brother. That's my law enforcement brother in blue. And that's just my brother, period. So, Dave, let's talk about a little bit of your history from what you've done and what you're doing now, from the law enforcement to the promotions and the martial arts, because we got to give a shout out to our martial arts family for those that don't know. So go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, well, before I start, at times it's really difficult to talk about yourself. I want to say a few more things about Debi. She's a photographer.
Yes.
She's the only one who has been able to display her work at the Harlem State Building 4 years in a row. The only female, the only person, the only Black female to do that.
Yes.
Not only that, she's on the board of the Harlem Chamber of Commerce.
Yes. Okay. Shout out to the Harlem Chamber of Commerce.
Right. Commerce.
And to
right.
Week. And a member of Power to Inspire. That's Ray Chu and Vivian Chu's organization. I'm on that board. I'm on
Shout
a few
out
boards.
to the Chus. Yes.
And the Youth Development Foundation has been in operation for over 50 years. Her and her late husband have been given scholarship, a whole lot of money. I'm not even going to mention, but we need to put more money into the kitty so she can continue giving out scholarships to young ladies. That's the reason why we're giving this show coming up November 9th. Now, you had mentioned back to me, I've been in law enforcement for, 20 years in corrections. Right now, I've been working with a company that has a contract with the U.S. Marshals. I've been doing that for the last 7 years. And I've been a martial artist since I was 20 years old, and I'm something now.
Wait a minute. And I'm older than him, and he don't want to say how old he is.
I know. He got nerve, right? He got a lot of nerve. Exactly. Listen, longevity is a beautiful thing. Listen.
Yes, it is.
To walk this earth is a beautiful thing, man. Trust me.
And you and I both, about 4 years ago, received our jacket
in the
Hall of Fame.
In the Hall of Fame. Yes.
Right, that's right.
Exactly.
But I've been a promoter for over 40-something years. I started first promoting parties at my house in Parkchester. And when they stole my Brothers Johnson album and clogged up my toilet and was smoking all kind of crap in the hallways, I said, I got to get out of here. I got to get these people out of here. So then I started with the Stardust Ballroom, Leviticus, San Remo's, Laughs, 1 and 2, Pegasus, Justine's, Boston Room Ballroom, all the spots, DMS Production I've been to with my parties. Then I graduated to comedy back in 92, I believe, the same year Def Jam came around. And that was extremely successful because my first comedy show, my host was Hamburger. And Hamburger had 2 months prior to my show was on Def Jam. So people wanted to see him in person. After he performed at my show, my comedy shows took off. And then I graduated to jazz shows, R&B shows, and that's what Deb and I are doing right now. In fact, I met Deb through Vaughn Harper. We did a show back in...
Rest in peace, Vaughn.
Yeah, my man, Vaughn. We did our first show I did with Vaughn was February 14th, Valentine's Day at Mist. And that's where I met Debi at Mist.
On Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day, yeah.
And how wonderful is that? How wonderful is that? And today you have culminated a beautiful relationship, and you're still
10 years now.
10 years. A beautiful thing.
But,
so let's get into how this event that you two have put together. Or I know you're helping Deb with it, but I say you two. Deb, talk about what it is that you're actually doing right now.
Okay, well, on November 9th, we're going to have a R&B soulful live concert, and it's a fundraiser for the Youth Development Foundation. It's going to be at the Bergen Performing Arts Center in Englewood, New Jersey. And some of the people who are on board for this event include the Bells 2.0. They are
Local group.
a local group, and they're wife and husband, and they do duets like Ashford and Simpson, and Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. So they will open for us, and then we have Howard Hewitt, the Ladies of Sky, Jeff Redd, and Melissa Morgan, who is a former talented teen.
Wow.
Also,
this is a talented teen thing. Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
And also, your co-host this evening, Alyson Williams, was a former talented teen.
Wow. So whenever she comes in, I'm definitely I know that's why I've had to surprise her with this. But Allie tardy for the party unless it's a payday. Let me stop. But what's so funny, and I think I told you this, or I have to find a picture. My mother, when Hal Jackson, rest in peace, the great Hal Jackson, was doing talent shows and beauty contests and stuff. My mother won, and I think is in Washington D.C. So really? I have to find that picture. Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So the degrees of separation are not too far. I will find that picture for you, honestly.
Please do.
Send that to you. So let's talk about the Talented Tees. How did that start? What is it about? And
okay,
it's to hit where we are now. Go ahead.
Right. Okay, well, Talented Teens started back in the early 70s. Young Black girls came to Hal and said, we have talent, but we can't enter the Miss America or Miss Teenage America contest. So he says, okay. So he and his then wife, Alice LeBrie Jackson, started Miss US Teen. And then it became Talented Teens, and then it became Talented Teens International. Some of the young ladies, and it's a talent competition. It wasn't a beauty pageant. It all had to do with talent and with intelligence. And some of the young ladies that have come through Talented Teens are Jada Pinkett Smith, Cheryl Lee Ralph, and I was reading Taraji P. Henson's book, and I saw she said in her book that she was a former talented teen. I said, get out of here. She was also in DC. She was in DC. And so those were the actresses, the singers, Evelyn Champagne King, Cece Peniston, Alyson Williams, Melissa Morgan, Regina Bell. Then we have, as a ballet dancer, Ty Jimenez, who was the principal dancer for the Dance Theater of Harlem, and now she's the director of dance at the Dance Theater of Harlem. We also have Ambassador Dr. Susan Johnson Cook, who was she was appointed an ambassador by the Obama administration. And we have Tanya Kennedy, who is a Supreme Court judge here in New York. So
Tanya Kennedy, that's my buddy. That's my buddy, Tanya Kennedy, on the low. Before she became a Supreme Court judge, that was my house head partner. That was my dance partner.
She was a talented teen. Hello.
Really? Was she? Wow.
New York, yes. And a winner.
The coach of the Steelers, his wife, was a talented teen.
Right.
Really?
What's his name?
Yeah. How do we forget his name?
Winston.
Oh, how do we forget his name? Oh, Lord. And his brother, too.
Tomlinson.
His wife.
Okay, this was in 89. She was in the competition the same year that Jada Pinkett Smith was in it. And she went out over Jada because Jada was an actress and she had sprained her ankle the day before the competition and had to stand in one spot and act. And Kia was a gymnast doing flips and all kinds of things, and she won. She won over. I have a picture of Jada, Kia, and LL Cool J. It was on LL Cool J's Instagram page. What?
So let me ask you a question. This is spread to people from just on the whole East Coast and West Coast. Let's just.
No, it's across the country. It was in Canada. It was in the Caribbean. It was in Africa. We were everywhere. We had competitions everywhere. And those winners would come and we would have a full week of activities for them. So let's say we're here in New York. So our first outing, because there were loads of rehearsals, but our first outing would always be to whoever the dignitary was of the city, state, or country we were in. So we would go to the mayor's office. We have pictures with, the young ladies on the stairs at Gracie Mansion with David Dinkins and with at A Beam. Bloomberg. I'm sorry, Bloomberg,
Yeah.
and also what's his name, Koch.
Yes.
You know, I mean, that was when we were in New York. If we went to Bermuda, we were with the governor. I mean, okay, that would be the first. And then, like, if you're here in New York, we would take them to a play. We would take them to dinner at Sylvia's. It was just a whole week of activities, and we were exposing those young ladies to different things. And the things that I like was, you know, putting them on a bus in New York and seeing everybody looking up, you know, because they never saw buildings so tall, you know, or taking them to an island and them seeing the blue water. So it was culturally invigorating, and I miss it.
No, and you know what's so funny? It's a beautiful thing, and we need more of that. So you said a whole week. That was a whole thing. So you guys had an itinerary set out for these sisters to do something, everything. You know, like, talk to me about the behind the scenes progress, because, you know, to have something come to fruition like that, people don't understand. They just see the finished product. You know what I'm saying? And Dave, you can chime in a little later, but we understand from a promotional standpoint. But Debbie, you're talking about something that has stood the test of time and been successful at it.
Yes.
So please go into that for me.
40 years. It's a lot of planning. It's a lot of planning, a lot of coordination. It's a lot of relationships that you have with different people, and also, you know, the radio station helped us a lot. And we just got it done. But let me give you my full circle here.
Sure.
On the show. No, let me go back to 1981. When I became involved with Talented Teens, it was back in 1981. And on that show was Shalimar. That's Howard Hewitt. Our last show was held in Bermuda in 2010. And on that show, we had the Ladies of Sky. And I hadn't even thought about it, you know, when we put the show together. And it was like, holy moly, I've gone full circle here. You know, so it's fantastic. And we're looking forward to having the show. And it's a fundraiser for the Youth Development Foundation so that we can keep awarding scholarships to young ladies. We're still doing it. I have partnered with Black Women for Black Girls, and we give a college shower, and then, you know, our organization gives the scholarships, which is $1,000 to the young ladies after they've completed their first semester in college and have maintained a 3.0 GPA or better. So, and we would like to keep doing that. It's just that the funds are getting low. So it's like, okay, the last time we did something was in 2016. We were at BB King's, and that's when we did, you know, a big fundraiser then, and we were able to garner some funds. So we're trying again.
Yeah, well, listen, like I said, with everybody's help out here, and shout out to everybody that's chiming in and watching. Vanessa Sterling, she said, "Good evening."
Oh, Vanessa.
She said, "I love this topic of giving back to our youth."
Cousin. That's my cousin.
Exactly. She's a good sister. She says our youth are our greatest resources and asset, and they desperately need us right now. Hey, Debbie, and hey, Dave. Love the collaboration. Absolutely. So, Dave, let me ask you a question, and Deb, please chime in anytime you want. Alyson will be with us in a minute. Talk about, from the promotional standpoint, what it takes to put this event together since you've been involved with it. Because the bottom line is, I know, and both of you can chime in whenever you want to with each other, because, you know, me being a promoter, I understand people only see the finished product, but they don't know about the calling, the asking. It's almost like asking favors to, can you be a part of this, or the scheduling, the timing. So go ahead, Dave, elaborate on that, please, for me.
Well, fortunately enough, I have a very good relationship with most promoters and people that are out there promoting their events or promoting their, let's say, wares and tears, things that they create. So I've been a supporter of that for many, many years. So when I reach out and I say, well, can you put my flyer on your page, or can you put it on your social media, Instagram? Most people do it. I'd say 95 to 98%. I have a lot of people that will do that and help out, because social media is so vast and reach so many people. It's almost as much as radio. Yeah. Radio's become very expensive though. So social media.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we know about that.
Friends.
Social media is very inexpensive.
Yeah.
And I I have 3 Facebook pages
Mm-hmm.
that are. I have a lot of people on. I have Instagram. I have a lot of followers, and it's just a very taxing when you try to get this information out there because you're doing everything. I'm even texting people. I call some people. I have flyers I mail out. On this event, I'm doing everything. I've mailed out flyers. I've stood in front of the venue and given out flyers.
You went old school then. You went old school.
Yeah. Everything. You know, if I can get one person from standing outside a venue, that's one person more than I had if I wasn't out there.
Well, you know how we used to do back in the days. We'd be like, yo, listen, we try to get 10
That's
out
all we did was pass out flyers back in the day and make phone calls. There was no social media.
We did it all. We did phone calls, flyers, emails. Before emails, we were mailing out. You get your team together and you would put the flyers in the envelope and you would email them because that was the thing, like get your address and stuff like that. And people don't understand. Social media is big right now, and that's a beautiful thing. And also, shout out to the social media people watching. For you guys, I know you'll share it to your social media page.
This platform right here with you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what it's all about. It's about giving back. And this is not even Black History Month, but I think it's so important because I remember I've always said positivity is the hardest thing to sell. I remember when I did a fundraiser for Habitat of Humanities for Katrina, and 4040 Jay gave me the spot. You know, his staff gave me the spot, and I had like 30 people in there. You know, so is this a hard sell, Deb and Dave? You know, run down the lineup too that the people that you're having on this. So, if anything, people should just come to see the show. But run down the lineup for me.
The lineup is Howard Hewitt, the Ladies of Sky, Jeff Red, Melissa Morgan, and the Bells 2.0. The tickets are just $45 to $85. There's going to also be a VIP reception. That's $125. But those tickets have to be received from us because the other tickets are, they're through the box office and through Ticketmaster.
Absolutely.
And it's again November the 9th, and it's at Bergen Pat, and it's going to be hot.
And it's a real bargain because try to get some Taylor Swift or Beyonce tickets. I mean, you can't. You're spending a whole lot. I just heard that Taylor Swift's tickets are running $2,000 a hit.
Man, listen, that's a mortgage.
Beyonce?
You know what I'm saying? That's a mortgage. I'm not even trying to hear that.
Exactly. These are just $45 to $85, and it's not. We weren't trying to try and make a whole lot of money. We can use it, but we wanted to put on a great show and make it so that anybody who really wanted to go could come. So they're $45 to $85, and they're on sale at Bergen Pac, bergenpac.org/events, and you can get the regular tickets for 8 o'clock. And for the VIP tickets, they're $125, and you can go to hjteens50@gmail.com.
And that's still a bargain.
$125.
I mean, and it's so funny. There was a thing going out recently, just to segue into what I'm trying to say with regards to the talent that you have, because Jeff is a personal friend of mine.
And he's a Grammy winner.
Yes, and I've been on the road with him and Christopher Williams, and to hear there was a thing out recently how they were saying old school artists, shout out to 50 years of hip hop, are selling out more than the new school. But the bottom line is we sing along, and these artists today, especially talking about the artists of yesteryear that we respect and love, still sound like their records.
Yeah, that's true.
So we also have a surprise guest.
That he's not even telling me about.
I didn't even tell her about. We have
I just found out today.
Who has been in the business for at least 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And
well, it's not me because I can't sing. So don't worry about it. I can't sing. If God didn't want to give me that talent, he was like easy B. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be a huge surprise. I didn't even tell her.
I don't know. That's a beautiful thing. Out today. I'm like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Listen,
You know, you
everybody.
get the show rundown together, and then he says, "I need 10 minutes." What?
Yeah, yeah. Especially because I'm sure both of you are professionals at what you do, and I know time is going to be of the essence. And Deb, I can see you right there in the back, like, okay, come on, let's go. Who's next?
Let's keep the
listen,
show rolling and on
yeah.
time.
I'm just going to segue into a relationship question real quick with this because this is funny. But I have to give all props to people that have passed away recently. Raw Silk, Big Frank, a former promoter that's been in the business for a long time, and Ali. He Curtis Ali. They call him Ali Oliver. He worked with Lenny Green a lot on his team. Both of these gentlemen have transitioned recently, and you don't know how time is so precious. So I wanted to definitely give them a shout out. Also, too, speaking of shout outs, my niece, I call her my niece, Silk. His daughter's in the building. So we have a promotional family around, and Dave, so you understand that. And we've all lost and transitioned. People have transitioned from COVID or just illnesses and things of that magnitude. But how is it for you two to work together? Do y'all clash? Do y'all get along? I mean, like, because I mean, everybody, I know both of you are professionals at what you do, but the thing is, it doesn't mean it works all the time. Like how is working the working relationship for you two?
It's good.
It is. I would say 90% of the time, we've been together long enough to know where our boundaries are and how much we can say and what we can't say. Mm-hmm. So if we're focused on something that I'm doing, she pretty much knows how that flows, and vice versa. I know what she needs and what she wants when she's giving an event. We gave 2 events for her at BB King's. Yes. And that was our first time working together. And it was a phenomenal event. I mean, that first show we did at BB King's, we had the lead singer of, we had Blue Magic, Ted Mills. Yes. We had Ray Goodman and Brown. We had Alyson Williams, Melba Moore, Ladies of Sky, Bow-Legged Lou and his crew. We had everybody from BLS, the
on-air personalities.
Everybody, Bob Lee, who else? Clay Berry. Everybody was there. Yeah. And we gave out a plaque to DJ. What was his name?
Uh-oh.
I forgot.
So did I. Don't get old.
But anyway,
it was a DJ.
The next show we gave at BB King's, people were paying $45 to stand. We had 60 minutes in.
It was a talented teen show.
Alyson Williams, Melissa Morgan, and Evelyn Champagne came. And people were paying, it was packed out. And then they folded up. BB King's drifted off. That was a beautiful place, man.
Wow, that's beautiful. Let me tell Alyson to hurry up because I know you two have a time restraint. But the thing is, it is so glad, and I'm so honored to definitely help put this out in the universe because I want you two to be totally successful. So, Deb, as I text Allie, run down the whole itinerary, the date, and everything, so that gives me a time to do my little situation right here.
Okay, it is the Bergen Performing Arts Center in Englewood, New Jersey. So all of my New Jersey folks come out. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, we've had 4 international winners from New Jersey, from the state of New Jersey. And I'm going to reach out to them as well. We're going to have Howard Hewitt, the Ladies of Sky. Let's celebrate.
Yeah.
We're going to have Jeff Redd. And of course, Melissa Morgan, who's a former talented teen, had to have a talented teen on the show. You know that. Yeah. And the Bells 2.0. And it's November the 9th at Bergen Pack, Englewood, New Jersey. 8 o'clock show. Tickets are
open at 7:30.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah. and just so people in New York know, the theater is only 10 minutes from the bridge. GW Bridge.
Right. As a matter of fact, one of my friends came over yesterday. still celebrating my birthday. And one of my friends came over from New York. She had never been to Englewood Cliffs. And she said, I got here in 15 minutes. Yes, we're right across the bridge, you know, and Englewood is 5 minutes, 10 minutes from here. So it's just right across the bridge, believe it or not.
Good.
Put it on Waze or maps, and you can see how far it is. It's not that far.
And all you New Yorkers, I know you used to hang out in Jersey.
Come on
back
over.
in the day.
Come on.
Peppermint Lounge.
Right.
You know?
That's right.
Remember that spot?
Yeah.
What part of Jersey? This is not near in JP, right? No, this is not. It's not that out there, right? It's closer.
No, this event. It's in Englewood. It's 10 minutes from the bridge.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're not in Newark.
We are
in Englewood.
See, so everybody understand that. See, I put some clarity on there for y'all that was scratching your head. You all who were scratching your head, telling about where's that at? I don't know.
Yeah.
10 minutes from the
bridge. It's 10 minutes. It's right across the bridge. If you come across the bridge, it's going to be, we're here already.
Yeah.
You go down and make a right turn, and there's the theater.
Because when you come into Jersey, you come into Fort Lee. Then the next town is Englewood.
Cliffs.
Cliffs.
Absolutely.
And then the next town is Englewood.
10 minutes.
So I know we're hoping for a beautiful, phenomenal event, because the bottom line is, like I said, you know, he's got Melissa, she got records. Jeff got his records. Howard definitely his sultry voice. The Ladies of Sky. Let me tell you something. Let's Celebrate as a classic. I mean, so you have classical people. So let me just ask you. Let's go behind the scenes. Was it hard to get them to be a part of this? I mean, it seems like most of them all have history with you. So
we've worked with all of them. I produced the show with Howard Hewitt back about 4 years ago at the City Winery.
Right.
We had Ladies of Sky at BB King's.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa Morgan at BB King's.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa Morgan at my birthday party at the Resorts World Casino.
Jeff Red
at the Resorts World Casino.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Red at Alhambra. Yeah. And now Jeff Red here.
Right.
Bells 2.0 is a local group. This would be the first time we're working with them, but we've seen them perform a few times.
Are really
and
good.
Really phenomenal. Really good.
Okay. All right. Yeah, definitely. So Alyson must be having some kind of stuff. Let me tell her to chime in on YouTube. Let me see. Go to YouTube.
Chime in on YouTube. How do you chime in on YouTube?
Well, she can chime in on YouTube or Facebook, because if she goes to YouTube Live, because we're YouTube Live right now.
Right.
Okay.
So all she has to do is type in.
Listen, Bill, I want to throw something at you.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. The promoters that I know that have been in the business for the last 30, 40 years, and who may not still be promoting, but I thought of a Promoters United ball with all the old school promoters giving an event with everything. Oh, it looks like Alyson's coming on. At the old Manhattan Centers, which is called
the Hammerstein Ballroom.
The Hammerstein Ballroom, which can hold about 1,000 people. Just keep it in your head. I mean, I'm talking about a real black tie type of event, food, the whole deal. All the old school DJs, Hollywood. You know, there's a few of them out. Jeff, Red Alert.
Yeah. Well, you know what's so funny? Shout out to my boy DJ Hollywood, who should be recognized in 50 years of hip hop, but they haven't given him his blessings because they think of him more of an R&B DJ. But he's probably the first DJ that ever did rapped on a mic. When he was
honoring him at my birthday party. We gave him a plaque. Yeah, we gave him a plaque, and also Bo Lake and Lou came through and gave him another plaque.
Yes.
We had Jeff Red presented to him.
Right.
Yes, that was beautiful. Ali says hi. Ali, if you can, sign on again, but just don't show your camera. Just say hi, so they can talk. We're talking about the talented teens, and I wanted to get your take on what it was like to be one. So sign on again and say hi. And so Deb and Dave can say hi. I'm so sorry that I couldn't be on with you. She says, I'm so sorry. No, I'm not. No, she should be sorry. At least she should be sorry. Yeah. So, Ali, sign on again just to say hi so people can hear your voice. I hope your voice is not cracking and stuff like that. Yeah, because this is something that and that's why I was trying to surprise it with the talented team thing, and I knew there was a connection there, and I wanted her to surprise because I didn't even tell her you two were going to be on.
Oh,
but due to whatever happened with her, I'll let her discuss it. But I'm so glad that you two are here because I wanted, like I said, for me it was personally, I wanted to give back to you guys, and I wanted the people, the world out here to hear what you are doing, because positive, like I said, to share some positive information with all that's going on around the world, from elections and Israel and Hannah and all kind of things going on. This is giving back to your people of your own ethnicity that you want to see prosper and do something positive in this world, because the bottom line is there is a disconnection with us and the youth. And, it seems like it's our generation still trying to connect to the youth to save them, to bring them aboard. And we need that middle gap. I don't know where it is, but we still, as long as the three of us or the four of us are still here, we're still going to try that. So, Ali, if we can hear you, if you want to say hi, please.
Hi.
Hi, Alyson. Oh, she's gone.
She's hilarious.
Oh boy,
Alyson, bring your derriere back, please. And there
what is she
she's
doing?
playing peekaboo.
You have no idea, guys. I'm so sorry, Bill. I know I'm going to get a beat down.
Absolutely,
I know.
absolutely.
And it's funny because you seem really happy about it. You almost wanted to have a reason to kind of,
Yeah. Well, sometimes, sometimes you just, when people ask for it, you just got to give it to them where you got to give it to them. But I don't hit women, so I love you. But my tongue lash, and I'm gonna be like, Alyson, what's going on? Anyway,
I know.
First and foremost, before we let them go, because they have about.
Hi, Debbie. Hi, Dave.
Hi,
Hi.
Alyson, bring us up to speed on. Deb has just informed us that you were a talented teen. So let's talk about that experience.
1977 Town Hall.
Oh, so yeah, that was New York.
Yep. It was really great, and I've had many opportunities to, be a part of talented teen events and all the great things that they've done over the years. We went down to the islands, and what island was that, Debbie?
I've been to a few. So was it the U.S. Virgin Islands or the British Virgin Islands or Bermuda?
Maybe Tortola. Could have been Tortola or something.
The British Virgin Islands, right?
It was just wonderful, and just to be able to travel and be reunited with other alumni and what have you. It was a really great. A lot of great things came out of my being involved with Talented Teen.
Was that your first time on stage?
It wasn't my first time on stage, but it was my first time. We were responsible for bringing to the table what our talent presentation would be, and the organization allowed us to be ourselves and bring what we wanted, and then help to fine tune that. My choice was to what did I do? I reenacted a number from I think it was Bubbling Brown Sugar, I think, which was performed originally by Vivian Reed. I think the piece was "It Don't Mean a Thing" or something like that. But whatever it was, it just it gave me a chance to come to the table and say, "This is what I think I want to show the world," and you all made me know that yes, this is a good thing. You know what I mean?
And look at you now.
And here I am. My dad was in the audience, and he had been, supporting all of the dance lessons and music lessons and things like that, but he didn't know I could sing. And he went and found some change. We were using telephone booths at that time, and he was just weeping all over himself. And he went and he called his arranger, his musical director for his big band, and said, "Man, we got to get some charts done for this girl. I didn't know she could sing like that." And that brought forth my first charts with the Bobby Booker Big Band. because he,
Good.
he saw something that he hadn't seen before. Two of my very dear friends that we all grew up together dancing with Dancing of Harlem, Deirdre and Janine Tate. That was their first. They always say that was their first outing alone. Their father dropped them off at town hall, and they had their little outfits and their little pocketbooks, and they came in to see, without their parents, they came to see me, and at the Talented Teen. So there were so many, things that memories that were, you know, born out of that.
Allie, hold on. Go ahead, Dave, please.
Yeah, I have a question. Did that help with getting on board with Def Jam?
No, this was way before Def Jam. In '77, I was 16. This was, we were teens.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it certainly did. It certainly did push me forward in my wanting to, my knowing and my confirmation that big things were possible.
Allie, let me ask you a question. I know Dave, Deb, I got you. I'm on a time check for you. I know. Just give us 4 more minutes. Can you talk about, first and foremost, what it did for your confidence, and then 2, after that, you could just run it on. What do you think it will do for people of color today if they get involved with this?
Well, having these types of organizations where you can go in and have a whole team of professional people that do what they do, work with talent, work with youth, work with mentoring and so on and so forth. It just, first of all, they're far too few, if any. We don't have that anymore. This was something that people could look forward to if they didn't get in one year, or if they didn't meet the criteria, or they weren't old enough, or whatever the case would be. They could look forward to it coming back. So it was a staple, and for me, it was a great confidence booster, and it taught you camaraderie. It taught you etiquette. It taught you what it was like to have to work on a professional level and come to another another level of knowing how things are done. It taught you how to what it was like to be in a world-class venue and how that worked. You know what I mean?
Like town hall.
And all of those types of things and things that just they stick with you and last a lifetime.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing, and it seems like
and as well as open doors.
yes, and build relationships, because I'm sure
Build-
all these people that you're still very close with, Melissa, I'm sure Howard, Jeff, Red, all these people that you've had an illustrious career working alongside,
Absolutely.
working with, on the same building. Yes,
Absolutely.
and you can all go back to this time. Yeah,
We can all
So
go back
Deb,
and know that we had an experience that not many people continue to have. You know what I'm saying? As years went by, and it was more difficult, I guess, to to continue to do these things on the same level. That was the most important thing, is that it was done on a certain level. It wasn't cut
Yeah.
corner in any way. Everything that was supposed to be in place was in place.
yeah, and what's so funny? I mean, I think it's just awesome. Sorry, I'm just get texting all kind of stuff from everywhere. I just think it's awesome that people have an alumni with this. You know what I'm trying to say? And,
Yes.
and Deb and Dave, talk about what it feels like to be a part of that. I mean, because you hear people talk about the Jack and Jill. We talk about schools. Everybody reps their block, their neighborhood. You could be somewhere all the way somewhere else. I could be somewhere in another country, and somebody be like, "Yeah, where you from?" I'm from New York. Me too. Where you from? From New York, Long Island. Like, where you? I need 5 boroughs. You know what I'm trying to say? but like Allie and I, we're both Catholic school kids. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So there's always something that can bring somebody together. So I think it's awesome that to hear Allie speak about being an alumni of this and still being part of this. Deb, how does that make you feel? Like this is something that's still here to this day?
It's really good. But you have to remember, see, we don't have the competitions the way that we used to.
Understood.
We stopped in 2010, but we're still awarding scholarships. But I mean, when we did work with those young ladies at the state and country level, those young ladies would go into a rehearsal studio, and we would work with them from 6 to 8 weeks to prepare them for a show. So they saw what went on behind the scenes. We had them working with a professional pianist who would, play songs with them to get them ready to perform on stage. It was like putting a show together for kids that were 13. And see, when Alyson was in it, they only went up to 16, but we took it up to 17. As we went on, and it's very rewarding. And then you speak with people who have come through, and it feels like a family. It's a family.
Well, and you know what I want to say it really quickly as well. I can just put these things on top of it, and do it within a timely fashion. It was just like anybody could imagine what it was like to put together a Miss Universe, a Miss America, or anything like that. It was like that. We had professional choreographers, we had production numbers, we had wardrobe situations where we had different presentations from what would be for a teen, your formal or whatever case may be. You had all of that. We didn't have swimsuits, but we had that whole situation. And so yes, we did see what it was like to work with professional people on a certain level and have to, be on point and be and follow direction and what have you, from musicians to like I said, choreographers and so on and so forth, and people to teach us how to be eloquent in our speaking when we were called upon to make comment and what have you. What I also love is that a lot of the people that participated, and what have you at that time, they might not have been like me or Melissa or Jeff or whatever, and went into show business as their vocation, but they went on to do great things. We have judges and lawyers and all of these people that participated in Talented Teen and took away skills that helped them to go into other realms. So we're proud of that. The other thing is, my memory, Lenny Green always says that there was a year, and he believes that it's the year that I participated and Melissa participated, which was 77, when Talented Teen decided to be co-ed and allow young men to come into the fold, and he was the one participant that year. And what that leads up to is that at one time Lenny Green wanted to sing. He could sing. We don't know that, but he decided to go another direction. And also one of the last things, when you talk about how these things just continue to follow you, anytime that I did a show and WBLS was involved, and Hal would be, there, and they would have their live broadcast and they'd have their station set up. He never, ever, Debbie and he both never, ever, missed an opportunity to say, Alyson Williams is here. Come and sit with us. Come and talk to the audience. Come and, speak to the radio listeners and what have you, because they just embraced you like parents, and they were always there and wanting to shine a light on you, even if this was years later. This would be years and years later, and we would discover each other at various events and concerts and festivals, and I always had a seat at the table because of my connection with Talented Teen, and they were proud to say, this is one of our girls. This is what she's doing now. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Hold on, Allie.
I have to add one thing. She was saying that, that year that Lenny Green was, it was him, it was Eddie Murphy, and it was Wyclef Jean.
That's what I couldn't get. Yeah, three. Okay, there you go. Wow. You know what's so funny? We're going to get Lenny on, and we're going to talk about that one day. Dave, I know you're on time restraints, and I'm watching the watch for you. Please, Allie, I know you can stay with me, and we'll close out. But please tell them where, who, what, when, how can they reach you? How can they buy tickets? How can they support this wonderful event? Run down the itinerary again. I thank you so much. If anything I can do, Dave, you can put it on my wall again on Facebook, social media. Let everybody know where it's at. Okay. And go ahead. I'll let you two take it away.
It is at the Bergen Pack Theater, Performing Arts Theater in Englewood, New Jersey. 10 minutes from the George Washington Bridge. Tickets are on sale now. The show starts at 8 o'clock. Your headliner is Howard Hewlett. We got and friends, that's Sky, the Ladies of Sky, Melissa Morgan, Grammy winner Jeff Red, and the Bells 2.0, a husband and wife team. They do some terrific duets. And you have Debi as a host, Debi B, And Bob Lee is
Dr.
the
Bob
other.
Lee.
Dr. Bob Lee is the other
My
host.
boy.
And I'm your MC for the night.
There you
And
go.
you can get the tickets. The tickets are just $45 to $85 for the seats in the theater, or for the VIP reception, which will be held before the event. And those tickets are $125, and you can get those tickets at hjteens50@gmail.com.
And the date again is November on a Thursday, November 9th on a Thursday.
Correct.
Thank you. I am so happy that I could give you this platform to
Oh man,
express
we're
this.
really happy.
Thank you.
Appreciate,
no,
appreciate
definitely.
everything.
And like I said, I wanted to surprise Allie with it, because I knew that she had a connection with the both of you. So I mean, it still worked out that Allie is still with us. And Allie, we'll close out and we could talk a little bit more before we clock out on what it was like to be part of that situation, and you can reminisce for us. But Dave and Deb and Dave, I appreciate you. I know y'all doing your victory tour, your y'all doing your promotional thing.
Ali, we love you, baby.
Love you too. I know it's going to be an incredible event, and I implore everyone to go out, get your tickets, and support this incredible event on November 9th.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you. We out.
Thank you. I'll see you guys later. I'll talk to you later. So Allie, talk about, like, it's so funny, you did elaborate so much on what it was like, but let's take us back, for the few minutes that we have left, like what made you apply to be a part of the talented teen? Like what that was like the end all, the be all for like young Black sisters, young girls trying to perform in the arts?
Yes, it was. And, I wish I could remember how I got involved with it. I know it was myself and my god sister, Jackie. Shout out to Jackie Freeman. And we, we were in it together. Like I said, I didn't really know Melissa Morgan at that time, but I knew of her. And just like, when we were talking about the amount of confidence and, to be able to get to see other people and to know that, wow, there were so many other people with so many other talents. There were ballerinas and there were singers and everybody did a different thing in different genres and things like that. I remember the thing that stuck with me is that coming up as a jazz baby, I had challenges in, feeling that I fit in a lot of times, because the genre of music that was most familiar to me was something that most young people would look at as, oh, that's grown people music, you know what I'm saying? Or, jazz was something different than what people, all your friends are singing the Jackson 5 and the Silvers, or maybe they came up in church, so they knew gospel music. And so I always felt a little intimidated because I felt out of place. But to watch, and have an opportunity to see all these other people, and I was just dead laser, riveted on Melissa. She came and she had so much already in place, based on what she had been doing as an artist or, an upcoming artist and honing her craft. And she came with this life-size life-size clown doll. That she sat on a stool, and she had a costume that was a life-size clown marionette, presentation. And she sang the song "Smile." Smile when you're feeling lonely, smile. And it was just, and she had this incredible R&B soul voice that I hadn't heard in a lot of my peers, that was so, well developed. And I was like, wow, I want to be able to sing like that. Because she could riff, and she had the notes, and she could soar and stuff like that. So just to be able to see that and to know, how to push yourself, and not be intimidated by anyone because your presentation is different, or it doesn't sound like everybody else. It made it made a difference, and it was the thing to be involved with. It was a big deal, and you were selling tickets and raffles and a whole bit, and your family would get involved, and people would buy pages in the program book and things like that. So it really it was a great thing, and I wish there were more programs that were available today to allow young men and young women to have that experience.
It's so funny.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Go ahead, sure.
talented teen participants grow up to be Emmy winners.
There you go. We can talk about that. Emmy. We can talk about that Emmy in a minute. Let me ask you a question real quick. When you mentioned Melissa, and shout out to her and her wonderful husband, such a good dude. I was with them not too long ago with at Lenny's event in the city. But when you talk about how you heard her and you was listening to her, like in sports, when I came out of high school, I knew who Kenny Smith was. I knew who Mark Jackson was. I graduated with Olden Polynice, so you knew who all the players at that time, the all-star players in high school. I'm talking about high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know, like, okay, that's Melissa Morgan. She can sing. Like, did you hear like the buzz, or like did you hear like Alyson Williams could sing, or whoever was part of that performing? Like yo, that's so and so. You know what I'm saying? They bad.
Well, yeah, there were absolutely, people that came with a high level of presentation. Even and even not notoriety, but you could just see that there were people with different levels of presentation. You know what I'm saying? That you could tell. Well, they've either been doing a little bit longer, or they had a different skill set that might have been a little more developed or whatever. And like I said, I don't remember how, but because of my connection with my family in Queens, shout out to East Elmhurst, she was in Corona. There was there was some sort of cross section of people that that we all knew. Fat Larry's band, the Fatback Band, and all those other Queens people. Because I was connected through. Of course, I was doing theater and I was dancing with Dance Theater of Harlem. So there was me getting now more into the music thing with bands and shows and things of that nature. So that's how you began to hear whatever the buzz was. But right there in the center of what was going on with Talented Teen, yes, there were people, even from how can I put it? Even the people that were training us, you know what I'm saying? You could, get we were old enough to understand, how people were, they weren't showing favoritism, but they certainly were able to see and know, the different ones that, had that potential to possibly go on in their various field and succeed on a high level. Which was good too, because nobody made you feel any less than. It was just like, I'm in a circle where, wow. And what you start to realize is that I'm in a circle where there are folks who are just as good, maybe even better than me. And I'm here for a reason, because I deserve to be.
Yeah.
I'm here for a reason. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just as good and on a path that's going to take me further, because I am in a place, And I was the only one, I think, that did something that was from a Broadway standpoint, So, I felt like I had my own lane that I was, when I was doing my little bubbling brown sugar or whatever it was that I did.
Yeah, that's what's up. So before we get out of here, shout out to everybody chiming in. My man Jazzy, George, he said, what's up? Franz, Cheddar in the building. Shout out to my partner Arlie in the building, Brandon, Elizabeth. I see everybody shouting out. Thank you for chiming in and watching us. This is Real Talk Chronicles. This is Alyson Williams and Bill Forster. We're having Real Talk. We just had Deb and Dave on talking about the event that they have coming up November
9th.
November 9th. Yeah, definitely make sure the flyers on. They got Howie Hewitt, Melissa Morgan, Jeff Red, Ladies of Sky. Another couple, I apologize for not remembering their name. It's a fundraiser. It started off from coming from the Talented Teens, and right now Debi still gives scholarships, $1,000 away to young ladies for maintaining a 3.0 average GPA in college and stuff like that. So, listen, come out. You never know. You might be supporting the next Alyson Williams or the Melissa Morgan or the Jada Pickett or whomever that went through this. Cheryl Lee Ralph. She even mentioned Cheryl Lee Ralph went through this.
Yeah. It's been such a plethora of people, and like the thing is folks. I was just thinking this the other day because my godson is applying for college and what have you, and it's school is hard. You need somebody to be behind you, whether it's with financial support or mentorship or whatever the case may be, because just the application process alone could make you just be bonkers. And I know it's changed from the time that we were doing it, Bill. So it's just a whole nother world. And I'm like, Lord Jesus, just get them in somewhere. You know what I mean? And then becomes the journey to do what you have to do. You're living your life. You're a young person. You're discovering all different kinds of things, going through different situations that you've never experienced before, and you got to study and figure out how to keep up grades and make it all happen. And there's no guidebook for it. You kind of you got to live it. You know what I'm saying? You got to live it and turn into an adult and go on through life. So, this is something that really can be a help when you know that you've got some sort of financial support that takes a little bit of the burden off your shoulders, or off your parents' shoulders and what have you, and certainly goes directly into the positive of what you're trying to do. It's definitely going right to what the need is.
So, Allie, let me ask you a question before we get out of here. I think let us know what you've been up to. Also, too, I think, did you and Lenny get a award recently, or you hosted? Talk about
well, I am a founding member and on the National R&B Music Society, which pays homage and honor to so many of the artists that, and I'll just put it this way, quite honestly, don't often get the recognition that they deserve. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of artists that have paved the way for what it is that we know as R&B and many other genres, and sometimes they just don't get the shine. And so we pay homage to the Shy Lights and the Blue Magics and the Black Ivories and the Stylistics, and this year they honored Evelyn Champagne King, Miles J, Glenn Jones. This was our first year honoring a hip hop artist, and which was great because we're celebrating the 50th year anniversary of hip hop, as well as I Am as well, which was Houdini. We honored who else? Grandmaster Day, of what do you call of Houdini. We honored the BB&Q band. Kevin Robinson and those guys from Queens, the BB&Q band, Audrey Wheeler Downing, who's an incredible vocalist, and producer. Oh gosh, here I am. I knew I was going to come to a place. Patrick Adams, and then of course Lenny Green. And so I was honored to be able to actually be the one as a host. I serve as a host and a mistress of ceremonies every year for the gala, and I was honored to be able to present Lenny with his award and give all those great artists a chance to get their roses while they're here and able to smell them. So yes, Lenny, congratulations on your Lifetime Achievement Award, I believe it was, and I could be wrong, but I know it was a fabulous award.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the awards have names, and I can't really recall what all the categories are. But Lenny, you are certainly deserved, and we are loving on you all the time for what you've done and what you continue to do.
Yeah, shout out to all the recipients on their accolades. Very appreciative of them. Also, too, what do you got going on, Miss Emmy winner? Where are you performing? Where are you going to be? What's happening if people want to catch up to you?
Well, let me just share this. One of the reasons I wasn't able to appear on camera is I was out in San Francisco yesterday, over the weekend rather, at the Western Edition Jazz and Blues Festival. Shout out to all the people out there in San Francisco. Najee and I performed, and I took a red eye. And, the red eye is a great thing for me because you kind of just sleep through it, but it kind of leaves you a little depleted on the other end. So basically, I came in and decided I would get some rest. And then, diabetes being what it is, I was kind of affected a little bit by the time change and the just getting through the airport and getting a meal and all of those things that don't necessarily happen within the proper time frame, and I share it because I know I'm not the only diabetes on the planet, diabetes person on the planet.
Right.
There are a lot of type 2 diabetes sufferers, and I need you all to know that I too have to keep up with this thing and, make sure that, I'm ahead of it and it's not on top of me. So I had a little issue earlier, took a nap, got up, had a little sugar crash. And I said, well, let me just do what I need to do to fix that and then take a nap. And then I overslept. So that's really what happened. Things happen in the real world, people, whether you're an artist or whatever the case may be.
Exactly.
But
Absolutely.
so I want you all to know. And health is most important. So I knew it was time to take that nap and try to, pull it together. And, I overslept. I apologize, Bill, and to all our listeners and all of our viewers at Real Talk. But I'm glad I was able to at least chime in. I'm on tour, like I said, still doing dates with Najee as well as Alyson Williams dates. And I have a thing that I'm doing now called Allie and Emmy on tour. I was awarded an Emmy for a project I did. Please go and look it up. It's called Legends United for St. Jude. And if you go to YouTube and look up Legends United for St. Jude, you'll see the whole story, how the project came about, who's involved with it. It's a great project. And we were awarded an Emmy for excellence in obviously television and commercial, because that's what the Emmy awards, but it was for composition of the piece that we did.
Awesome.
And so I'm using it as a way to create content. Everybody looks at social media, and those are your highlight reels. The people don't really know what it takes for you to get into the rooms where they finally see you standing. And for me, I'm a woman of a certain age. I'm an artist from a certain era. I have to find things that are relative to me, because I might not be able to do a TikTok dance every day. You know what I'm saying? Not that I can't do the dance, but every day, really? Come on, y'all. So I have to figure out. And I have to also, kind of cater to my demographic of people who, there's a way that they consume social media. So I found out if I went on tour with Emmy, who's a big deal, and I believe that it's a way to show people that, this is excellence. And here I am, a little Black girl from Harlem, and I achieved it. So I want to be a way to show people that this is a light, and this is there are ways for other young artists and people who do various things, not just performers, but behind the scenes, to be recognized for excellence in their field. So I started saying I was going to take her, I took her one place, and, I was glad to show her off and let people take pictures with me and the Emmy. And then I said, you know what? I can take her everywhere I want to go until the end of the year. Then I'm going to sit her down on her little pedestal and let her just, be displayed. But it's Allie and Emmy on tour, and people will begin to see on Facebook. Everywhere I go, I take her and I take pictures with her in the various, like I have Emmy in the nation's capital in DC, and we're taking pictures in front of all of the various monuments that we know. Did the same thing in San Francisco. I'll be next week in Los Angeles for all of our listeners on the West Coast, back on the West Coast at the Ebony Repertory Theater, bringing my Phyllis Hyman tribute. Old friend Alyson Williams sings tribute to the legendary Phyllis Hyman, and you can find that online and find out where and when. It's October 27th and 28th, and the Ebony Repertory Theater, which actually goes by a new name now. They've rebranded their brand, and I can't remember. I think it's Nate Harden. I'm not sure, but just look it up and it'll lead you to where you need to go. What else? I come back, and I think I'm going to be back in DC at Blues Alley with Najee for the first weekend in November, and then I'll be at Sony Hall in New York City with Najee and friends. Najee and I both are New Yorkers and coming home to New York. It'll be great. Emmy will be there. Bill, I know you'll be there with my girl, and we're just going to have a great time.
That's it. I didn't know Najee was from New York. Shout out to Najee.
Queens, yeah, man.
Okay. Shout out to the Q. You know what I'm saying? Vanessa says, thank you for sharing your journey in the entertainment industry, Ms. Williams, and promoting the upcoming event for supporting our young youth today. I also thank you, Bill, for sharing the importance of mentoring programs to support and building up our young people. You guys have a great evening. Thank you, V. Alyson, any parting words positive affirmation before we get out of here? I'm glad
Well,
you was
I
able to
can't.
join.
I can't help but keep trying to, beg Oh, I'm so sorry. I just, but the thing is that if I can't come right and come correct, I can't come at all. And like I said, I didn't get a chance to put the war paint back on and
No, it's
anchor
all
the
good.
hair in
It's all
place.
good.
And I would never want to give our listeners and our viewers the raw. It
Not the
is what
raw,
it is.
exactly.
Not the
Yeah,
complete raw.
no,
Oh,
no,
it'll make
definitely.
you feel
It worked out.
just just like you feel if you ate something that was undercooked. That's how you would feel.
Exactly.
Ooh.
No, I'm so glad you came and you closed it out, but only the way Alyson can, and I appreciate that. So I'm so thankful. It was.
Thank you. And I wish everybody love and light, peace and blessings, miracles and music, and above all, joy. Hey, listen, can they join me tomorrow on WHCR 90.3 FM, The Voice of Harlem, from 8 to 10? For
Tell
Love Notes with Alyson Williams, my special guest will be Melba Moore and bassist extraordinaire Ace Livingston. So that's Love Notes with Alyson Williams in the Chill Zone, 90.3 FM, The Voice of Harlem, from 8 to 10 on tomorrow. Thanks, Bill, for always giving me a platform to promote all the stuff I'm doing and to come and be a part of the Real Talk family. It means the world to me. And we've been doing it a long time. And I hope we continue to do it for even longer.
Absolutely. You know what's so funny? In the near future, let's get Melba back because now she's a Walk of Fame artist.
That's right. That's right. And she has a street in her hometown, Newark. They have changed the name of a street in her honor. So she's got so much going on. Bill, you got to do a whole hour on just her. So let's get Auntie Mel back.
Yeah, let's set that up, and then maybe I'll get Dr. Corder. We'll talk about some dates, put them together, and we'll get Dr. Corder to come back on maybe on our set to talk about diabetes since we both have it. And for the listeners over here, that we can share some positive information on that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, everybody, that's Real Talk. This is Real Talk. That's Alyson Williams. I'm Bill Foster. Please share it, subscribe to it, like it, do what you do, but just foster the moment with positive vibes only. Alyson Williams, baby, in the building. Harlem.
I love ya.
Love you. Talk to y'all later, everybody.
Peace.